Just when we thought we'd seen everything this remarkable man had to offer, Gary Ablett produced a season unlike any of the 9 that preceded it at Kardinia Park. Since his rebirth as a footballer with Geelong in 1984, Gary Ablett had been the club's leading goal kicker 5 times, despite rarely getting the opportunity to play as the designated spearhead. He'd taken advantage of that massive kick of his to score from the wing or at half forward. Early in 1993, Malcolm Blight, a man who had occupied similar roles for North Melbourne, offered him the chance to settle down.
That was new to me because I've never really played at full forward consistently before. I've always been up on the half forward line or further up the field. And Malcolm said that, you know, maybe we could try it. And
what was your reaction?
Oh, well, I was more than happy to go along with him. You know, I just said, you know, I'm willing to play wherever, you know, I can do my best for the team. And so we agreed to give it a go.
Funny looking kick. The end result might be okay. Ablett slung off the ball, snapshot. He's got his foot.
It was a whole new role for me, from going from a half forward line to full forward. You know, Malcolm was tremendously helpful along the way, gave me some tips because, you know, he'd played at full forward at some stage in his career. So that was great help. But other than that, I really just had to learn myself, really, just by playing there.
Back there is Mansfield and Worsfold, but by Ablett. Hard at the footy. Brownless, Ablett, oh, he's done it again!
I guess we started off at the basics. He just gave me some sort of hints on different ways to lead and certain things. Also, I guess one of the probably the major things that Malcolm's encouraged me to do, and not just me but all the players, and I believe it's helped our performance overall, is to keep our feet. That too often we go to ground when we don't really need to, and once you're on the ground you're out of the contest. And I felt that just in, you know, being very selective in the marks that I've gone for this year, and concentrating more on keeping my balance and keeping my feet means I'm still in the contest.
Coaches won't be too happy with that. Geelong can make something of this. Ablett in front and a mark, if you don't mind.
With hamstring worries keeping him out of the Foster's Cup and then the AFL season opener against St Kilda, Ablett was raring to get into the play when the Cats met Collingwood at Victoria Park in round 2.
Superman himself, Ablett goes for goal. Will he get it? It's going close. Have to wait on the goal umpire for that one. It's there. Gafer tried the punch. Oh, Ablett, could he make it 2 in the first few minutes? Snapshot is off target, or is it a goal? It's there. He's got it. 2 to the champ. Couch. Ablett. Yes. Magnificent football, Geelong. Full marks to Couch. Hocking. That's Gary Hocking. Kicks to Ablett. That's got to be 50, doesn't it, Gerard?
Well, see if the umpire pays 50. Well, I don't think it was on the 50. It was pretty much part of the play. It'd be pretty difficult. It was split second. It'd be difficult to pull up. But that's the best way to answer the umpires. From Sanford on the great man himself.
Well, he's handed out a few hips and shoulders in his time. Kicks at goal for number 4. And it looks okay. It's there. Scott. A hurried hand pass. Ablett, can he go off the ground? He might have got that. I think he has. Yes, sir. He's able to drag it down. Ablett comes out with a football. He can kick these. Snapshot. Oh, that's a goal. It's a miracle. He's put it through.
7 goals didn't help Geelong to victory.
Amazing shot.
In fact, Collingwood won by 10 points. The match would be a costly one for Ablett. In this incident, with Gary Pert, he had his number taken by field umpire Vernon and goal umpire McDonald. He knew he was guilty. He said so, and was suspended for 2 weeks.
He is.
Neil into half forward, wants Ablett, finds him.
The return match was against the Brisbane Bears. It was Gary Ablett's first appearance at this famous Test cricket venue.
Keep it in.
While Ablett was on fire, kicking 8 goals, his team was showing the inconsistency that would plague it for the first half of the season. After allowing Brisbane to kick 9 goals in the second quarter, the Cats struggled to win by a point.
He goes looking for Ablett on the lead. He's taken this mark about 35 metres out. Back is Ablett. Good looking kick. He's got another goal. Scores are level at the Gabba once more.
to half forward, out towards Ablett. Oh! Collides with
More
Gastev.
trouble was in store for him when he crashed John Gastev to the turf. Field umpire Allen was on the spot. This time, Ablett said he was not guilty, and the tribunal agreed with him.
I was actually disappointed that I got reported that day. I'd just come back from 2 weeks suspension, and I really felt that, you know, I led hard for the ball, and Gastev ran back over my my lead, and we made contact. I felt it was a fair bump, and so, you know, as I said, I was a little bit disappointed that that I was reported, but you know, justice was done at the tribunal, and I got off. So.
There are those who believe the Geelong-Essendon match at the MCG in round 6 was one of the most outstanding games of the season. For 46,000 fans, it had everything our great game has to offer. At one end, the giant Paul Salmon was invincible. His 10 goals would normally be enough to register a convincing win. Enter the Ablett factor. This was a day to savour. A day when just about everything went right for the man in the number 5 jumper.
Good long kick into attack. Ablett and Danaher! Great mark by the great man. Funny looking kick. The end result might be okay. Ablett slung off the ball. Snapshot! He's got his fourth!
He took more than 100 marks during the season, but this was the one that stood out.
Geelong can make something of this. Ablett in front and a mark! If you don't mind.
I consider getting up and grabbing the ball when blokes are trying to thump it away and you hold them. I consider that a good mark. Yeah. Under pressure, you know, by maybe more than one bloke.
Do you believe that you're under more pressure, taking, say, a high mark like that than trying to stop a Frawley or someone like that, hustling and bustling into the ball?
Oh no, look, it's never easy. It's never easy to take, you know, a chest mark when you're bustling against, you know, especially blokes like Frawley and them, because they're big, strong blokes. But no, I just feel that, you know, to get up high and take a mark just has something that the chest marks don't.
Pretty tight angle for the big fella.
He runs around and puts it through for a goal. Whereas Pickering gets the ball away from the centre, and Ablett, well, you could have put anyone on Ablett then and it wouldn't have made any difference because the ball came down so quickly.
Gary Hocking out of the centre, kicks to Ablett, and he marks this one as well.
Infringed after he just dropped the ball in front of him. He did tap it with his fist, so it was played as a handball.
The records tumbled. His tally of 14 goals, 7 was his best in league football. Even better than the 14 goals he kicked against Richmond back in 1989.
Bit of an angle, shouldn't bother him, and doesn't. He's kicked 8 goals, 7. Hughes, or Hurd, Ablett. Snap, number 10.
The ball bounced over my Essendon opponent's head to me in the pocket, and I was running the wrong. Like I should have kicked it on my left boot, but I knew I was pretty hot from behind. I was about to get tackled, so I'd done a banana the wrong way, and it went through the centre. And I thought, oh wow, it was yeah. Try and do that again. I thought.
Short pass from him. Ablett on a lead. Badly injured ankle. Came back on. Has come back on. Scott. Long kick. Ablett. Good use of the body. Great mark. Strong, this fellow. And coming in for goal number 12.
Hinkley off and Malakalis on for Geelong.
Ablett for his 12th. The Cats need one. And he's kicked one.
It was the biggest tally in matches between Geelong and Essendon, beating John Coleman's tally of 13, set in 1952.
And off the left foot. This shot will put Geelong in front if he kicks accurately. And 13 goals to Ablett. Geelong lead.
Intercepting is Robert Scott. Good to get boot to ball. Down to Ablett again. Yes. No. Play on. Played it.
But unfortunately, there was one record that left a sour taste in every Geelong supporter's mouth. It was the highest tally ever kicked in a losing side, nudging out Tony Lockett's 12 for the Saints against Melbourne in 1987.
Obviously, we knew that Essendon was a great side. You know, after playing them that day, we threw everything at Essendon. We thought we we kicked probably what would be normally a winning score at 19 goals, but unfortunately Essendon would have kicked 23. So, you know, we were very disappointed about that. But I guess, you know, when you look back at it now and see that Essendon won the grand final, it's not hard to see why.
No one waiting down.
At Geelong, on Sunday, May 9, the puzzle continued to deepen. In a replay of the 1992 grand final against the West Coast Eagles, the Cats had led by close to 40 points, approaching three-quarter time. Ablett's contribution had been 4 goals, well below his weekly average of 9-6 a match.
Kick into the pocket. Oh, he could have nearly cleaned up Mark Bairstow then. I felt for him going back. Not Mansfield, O'Reilly. Ablett, and over the top into the goal square, and Brownless took it.
Harding couldn't take it. Brownless with a left foot into Ablett. Costly mistake.
O'Reilly's kick into the pocket. Back there is Mansfield and Worsfold. But by Ablett. Hard at the footy. Brownless. Ablett. Ball rebounds for O'Reilly. His kick to full forward. Ablett. Here's another one. So the big men having some influence. He's kicking towards full forward. Ablett just got rid of Brennan.
In a cool twist, the Eagles overran Geelong to win by 8 points in a match that would prove so expensive as the season wore on.
Short kick, very good. Vision excellent. McIntyre's on the end of it.
We were very disappointed ourselves in losing that game. We really felt, I think it was the 19-minute mark in the third quarter, we got the 7 goals up. So, you know, when you look at that, we probably should have won the game. But at the same time, you've got to give West Coast credit for coming back the way they did, and it was a great win by them.
Few teams have suffered the Ablett wrath over the years quite like Richmond, and so it was again in round 8. Fired by the losses to the West Coast and Essendon, and buoyed by a packed house at Kardinia Park, Ablett helped himself to a dozen goals. In 15 games for Geelong against Richmond, he's kicked 95 goals, topping double figures in 4 of the last 8. The papers were full of the Ablett magic as he prepared to fly to Sydney for a showdown against Ron Barassi's struggling Swans. The poor old Swans had lost 22 on end, and the only conjecture was how many Gary would kick.
Ablett, he's got it again.
Ablett had 5 on the board in the first quarter and had topped the 50-goal mark in just 6 matches, equaling the record set by Bob Pratt and Tony Lockett. But not even his heroics would grace the front pages of the sports section.
Awkward. Still no, the Swans going hard, and down goes Lynch, and down goes Richard Osborne, is it?
This sickening incident saw Richard Osborne taken off the ground by ambulance. Some doctors warned he would never play again. Osborne and Ablett had been Victorian teammates.
Clash of heads, yep, Dale Lewis collected Richard Osborne, and he's out cold. He was out before he hit the ground.
Richard was badly injured that day. He got a bad knock to the head. You know, I guess most of the people at that arena that day were very concerned for him, but I was just glad to see him recover and get back on the field.
What goes through your mind as a player, admittedly an opposing player, but you know, what goes through your mind when you see a player obviously in a distressed state like that?
Well, I guess, you know, most footballers know what it's like to cop a heavy knock, and I guess, you know, you just feel for them. You just think, you know, I just hope they're all right.
While Geelong had the bye, there was no such respite for Gary Ablett. His state of origin duties called him to the MCG for matches against New South Wales and South Australia. It's a responsibility he relishes.
Oh, I think it's a tremendous honour to represent your state in a state of origin game. So...
You can put up with the antics of Ted Whitten, can you?
Oh, yeah. No, Ted's a bit of a character, but no, he loves his football, and he especially loves his state football, and yeah, good on him.
Kick by Brown up towards half forward. No marking whatsoever by New South Wales. Knights uncontested.
On a Tuesday night, under the MCG lights, a Victorian side depleted by the loss of the injured stars Greg Williams, Gary Lyon and Tony Lockett were untroubled to defeat the Terry Danaher-coached New South Wales.
He's 55 metres out. The pass is good, and Salmon marks low down.
Paul Salmon was at full forward, and alongside him lurked the most dangerous goal sneak in the game, one G. Ablett. 3 goals in the first quarter put paid to New South Wales hope.
Ablett for his first goal for the night. He loves the MCG. Low, interfering, no whistle. He gets the hand pass across to Ablett. Ablett runs into goal for his second and kicks it. Stewie Lowe off the left, short to the 50, and a good mark taken by Rock. He plays on and goes for goal, or the goal square. Ablett, a push.
Way for Schwass. Schwass's kick, up towards full forward. Marking contest, there was no contest. Gary Ablett took it in the finish, quite simply, and a chance to kick his 4th goal. Ablett shot for goal, shivered it on the line, it's a goal. 4 goals to Gary Ablett.
In a rare programming move, the State of Origin Series final between the Big V and South Australia was played on a Saturday afternoon, beginning at 4:40, but only 31,000 turned up.
Got his hands onto it, but Langford was there. He's smothering Stephen Kernahan effectively so far. Darren Jarman, what a kick, it's a goal!
While Darren Jarman was kicking the freak goals at one end, Gary Ablett was kicking 5 in a more sedate manner at the other, including 3 in the second quarter, to enable Victoria to close the gap.
That was for Lambert. Now Scott, 55 metres out. Robert Scott sets sail for home. Ablett is there, he's got to beat a couple. He's in front. He's picked it up now, slung as he gets his kick, but it won't worry the champion.
What a fantastic bit of play by Gary Ablett.
So Victoria playing a 2-man forward line. They've got Salmon and Robert Scott right beside him. I don't know if that's the answer.
Well, he comes roaring out, and here's Ablett, inside 50, Gary Ablett. Time to swing round. Hit for home with the left foot. There's Gary Ablett in action.
Knights has Bickley as his opponent. He sweeps around onto his left foot and kicks it inside 50 metres. Ablett in front, good mark.
That's a better effort. Only eyes for the ball.
Well,
he should kick this.
Matthew Knights, it was such a good kick for Ablett. And I think we've seen Gary Ablett kick the distance from here on many, many occasions. Seriously, having a look at it. Gary Ablett goes for goal. Look at this kick, if you don't mind.
Lowe couldn't take it. Bullis over the top to McGuinness. Back towards the centre of the ground. Only to see it picked up by Knights. Ablett.
Well done by Knights. Well done by Knights.
7 kicks. 3 goals at the moment. Nothing wrong with that kick, I don't think. It's a beauty. 4 goals to Gary Ablett. On the bounce. Victoria to their half-forward line through Williams. Ablett caught behind. Salmon is there. His hand pass. Well, somehow it finds Ablett. He chips towards goal. Hannah may shepherd it through. Yes.
A week later, Ablett was back at the MCG, this time against a Carlton team that seemed to have recovered from a somewhat shaky start to the season. The game had been scheduled for Kardinia Park, but the Cats agreed to drive up the highway and play at the major finals venue. In a game marred by injuries to Geelong's Barry Stoneham, who was concussed, and Carlton's Brent Heaver, who injured his jaw, Geelong and Carlton were evenly matched until three-quarter time.
6 matches so far this year, averaging 8.7 as he snuck it in. Another one.
To Simpson, forward of the wing, pumps it back inside the 50. Brownless sets himself, but over the top is teammate Ablett.
Ablett was restricted to 3 goals, but the disappointment for Blight and his men was yet another last quarter fade-out. This time, they managed only 1 goal and watched Carlton move away to win by 29 points.
Meantime, Ablett's got the ball. It was a big bear hug, and Madden crashed down on Stoneham as Ablett kicks a goal. Everything's happening at the MCG. What a game!
In towards the big bell. Brown at the back. Ablett, the Geelong champ, kicks. Gary Ablett has goal.
The problem only got worse. The next week, it was Fitzroy at Kardinia Park, and the 1992 grand finalists looked magnificent against the 8th-placed Lions. Ablett was the obvious focal point up forward and helped Geelong amass a lead of 8 goals by half-time.
Gets onto the left foot too easily. Ablett. Well, excellent work there from Paul Couch.
Right, and I think Geelong fans were perhaps expecting an onslaught. Now, having said that, look what he's going to do here.
The second half was the stuff that regulars down Corio way were becoming used to. In the second half, the Lions closed fast. In fact, they kicked 10 goals to 3. It was this goal, Ablett's 7th, that settled the Cats in the dying moments and allowed Geelong to go on and win, but only by 7 points.
The monster may just seal it.
Play is on. Well,
the trip to Football Park can be a nightmare for any team. The Crow fans the most vociferous and one-eyed in the business.
60 metres out from goal. Can he kick his second? Will it bounce on? Yes, it will.
This time, Geelong reversed its trend of recent weeks by starting slowly and finishing fast. The talk of the town was the display expected from the 2 most potent full forwards in the AFL. At one end, the South Australian pin-up boy, Tony Modra, who led the table with 68 goals. At the other, that man Ablett, lurking in his shadow with 62. That part of the contest was the most one-sided of the night. Ablett was on fire.
Ablett has got the goal. Couch trying to show by example. It'll be a long left footer into the goal square. Ablett, oh yes, uses the body well, turns and kicks a goal. Couch gets the ball in front of him. He could just about kick a goal from there. Ablett and Hart. Ablett too strong in the clinches. You have to get around under his left foot. He does. Snaps and kicks a goal.
Gary Hocking slaps it out. Forsman inside the 50. Can they finish with a flourish? Long kick slides across the face. Ablett, was he across the line? Not according to the umpire.
Barnes, strong mark. Preferred by Malcolm Blight tonight in the rucking contest over Hooper. He did have a couple of runs in the first 2 terms. This is Forsman. Ablett will be the target, 1 on 2. Lee comes from behind. Left foot snap by the champ. Looks pretty good. He's got the goal.
Visca, the look-away hand pass comes unglued. Now Bairstow measures the kick from 40 metres out. Ablett in a very tight situation. He's coming in low, and I think that's fair enough.
His 10 goals staggered the 45,000 that packed into the stadium at West Lakes, and whether you loved him or hated him, you had to sit back and marvel at his performance.
Goal. 8 to Gary Ablett.
McDermott, oh, that was a bad hand pass. Scott had Prosciutto pinned as soon as he got the ball. Bairstow into the goal square. Ablett, another one. 9. Bairstow. Nice snap, bends it back. Ablett has taken the mark right on the behind post.
For Ablett, another double-figure haul. For Geelong, another defeat.
Will he go for the banana from here, Dennis, or can he see a fair opening there?
He might play on after the siren again, Bill.
Maybe a banana. No, the drop punt.
Kicks, and kicks truly. 10 big ones for Gary Ablett.
But they're not a bad side in front of that home crowd. They G them up, don't they?
Oh, you know, obviously Adelaide are, I think they're probably a 6-goal better side over at home. And we knew we'd have a game on our hands, and we did. We got done, but you know, I guess you just look back. You got to learn from it and realise, you know, next time we go there, we've just got to be better prepared.
Tudor in trouble, held a long time in the tackle. Back
For
comes
some
Couch.
clubs, the trip to Cardinia
Steve
Park
Hocking
can
ball
be
at
as
the
harrowing
wing.
as the plane trip to
About 50
Adelaide or
metres from
Perth.
goal. Chips it down
This was
towards
the
the
scenario
pocket. This is
Footscray faced
Mansfield. 40
as it
metres
made the
from
short
goal.
hop
Pulls
down
it
the
back.
highway in
Floats
round
down towards the
14.
kick-off line. In from the side, Ablett. What a season he's having.
Well, he hesitated momentarily there, Ablett, not thinking he could get to the ball on the full, and then charged at it and got there quite comfortably in the end.
So this for a 7-point lead. Ablett should get it. He's kicking from about 15 metres out, 45-degree angle. First goal of the game.
The Bulldogs hadn't won at Geelong since 1978 and weren't destined to alter the lopsided record.
Possession to Hocking, to Tudor. Tudor kicks for space. Good kick too. Ablett favoured by the kick.
And what a game Gary Hocking has played. That's 22 disposals. Pickering short to Ablett.
Well, I thought Hocking may have initially gone to the lead of Ablett in the first place on this other side of the ground, member's side, but then he went the other way. It was a good kick there by Tudor.
Didn't stop, did he, Gary Ablett? Just kept running.
No, and Tudor ran well up the ground too. Good play by that player to run into the open space.
Leading goal kicker for the season once more. He's past Modra with that one. Hawkins on the mark, and the Hawk is about 56 metres from goal. Won't make it. Ablett's there. Back of the pack. Well, it's rushed through or off the boot. That's a goal. Ablett got toe to ball. The hand pass, 25 metres to McGrath. Glad it's him, not me. Just gets rid of it in time. Hinkley. Kick by Hinkley to Ablett. Beautiful delivery. Great setup by the Cats.
Ablett was 5 to take his tally to 79. But this was a match that the Cats just had to win. And with 4 quarters of sustained pressure footy, they did just that.
Thump. Goal.
Clear, Ablett short, should get him, and he does.
Coach Malcolm Blight had every reason to seethe after Geelong's trip to the MCG in round 15 ended in disaster. While Blight complained of his team's lack of passion, he could not fault his key forward. In yet another losing side, that man was just inspirational.
Doesn't reflect any disparity between the ruck duels.
Riccardi, Ablett. Terrific mark.
That kick was just absolutely perfect.
Oh, it was electrifying, wasn't it? Once again, Gary Ablett 2 yards in front of Phoebe. So much time he's able to take it on the chest.
Ablett's drop punt looks good. He's got it.
Here's Tudor for Geelong. They must get something out of this. Ablett's on the end of it, and he marks about 35 metres out directly in front. Hocking goes in the Ablett direction. Ablett being held must be a free kick.
Still took the mark.
Well done, Gary. There's just no nonsense about him, is there? You know, I mean, he gets held. Your man like that could probably get a little frustrated. But have a look at this.
Looks like Rex Hunt trying to pulling a big marler.
Oohing and ahhing because they've just seen all of that on the big screen. Gary Ablett goes for goal number 4. That's straight through the centre.
Inside the last 3/4 of a minute. Ablett, the target, uses his body. Oh, takes a one-hander.
In between the 2 Melbourne players, one of which was Jay Stones.
He's been relying on this Gary Ablett for a couple of seasons now, just laying body on a player and taking it with the one hand. I hate to be coaching this bloke and telling him how to play.
He'll like it no matter what if he kicks his goal.
He's kicked 4. Siren's about to go. He's kicked 5. Couch, clever, could fill odds. Now Bairstow. Ablett will be the target. He's kicked 5. Oh, he's done it again. Just used his body on Phoebe, put out the big mitt, and it stuck.
Well, they're the big 3 that Geelong need to get firing. Came from Couch. It was classic Couch in the middle. Duck back. A quick handball to Bairstow.
And that's number 6. 6 to Ablett. Couch, left foot. This is another chance for Ablett. Got it, Gary.
Gee, it was another good kick, wasn't it, Jared? his disposal, Paul Couch, if you give him, 2 or 3 metres space.
It's spot on, isn't it? Another terrific mark from Ablett too, because look where his shadow is. That means he's basically looking straight into the sun, which is a real problem here. The forwards at that end of the ground have to combat it.
Ablett kicks his 7th. 7 out of 14.
Keeping up the average.
Keeping him off Riccardi. Riccardi swings onto that left foot. Handy Ablett again.
One of the reasons, of course, is that Road just perhaps a little bit slow for Gary Ablett. Now, they've interchanged one strength for another. Road's got the greater strength of Phoebe, but certainly not as quick.
7 goals. Kicks from 47 metres. He's a magnificent player.
Sweeping hand pass, Bairstow. Kick across his body. In towards the front of the goals. Ablett. Snapshot. Oh, he's done it! Wacko Gary!
Sits for him. They run to the pocket. He's kicked 9. Can he turn Road inside out? No, Road's got him. Bairstow.
Holding the man.
Yeah, it had to be a free kick.
Did it?
Yeah.
Why he handballed it away?
Ablett handballed it legitimately away, and Road just kept on hanging on. And we'll have a look at it. Ablett takes him on, tries to fend off. There's the handball, and then he won't let him go. Well, that is a free kick. We kicked 9-1 in a grand final here in 1989, and even that wasn't good enough for Geelong to win.
Could he kick 10 and the Cats lose again? Oh, he's a good player. Oh, he's a great player. Threw it away. Tudor, he's been pretty good. Goes back to half-forward Ablett. Well, it'd be fitting if the great man should kick the last goal. And I think he will.
It'd have to be some sort of record, wouldn't it? A side being defeated 4 times in a season when their 4 forwards kicked 10 goals or more. Is it only 3?
Today he's kicked 10. He kicks the drop punt. Has he missed? No, I think he might have just got it. 11 for Gary. The most goals he's kicked in his career. 88. What a finish. Been a terrific match. But I guess what really counts when you add it all up is that Melbourne has won.
Matters came to a head at Geelong after the Cats lost to St Kilda by 71 points at Waverley Park, in their worst and most demoralising loss of the season. With 15 matches completed, Geelong had won 7, and the finals now were but a dream.
Was that really when, as a club, the team hit rock bottom?
Yeah, Sandy, I guess, we were going through some problems in, mainly in the second half. We were playing, very good football in the first half, but we were sort of fading out a bit in the second half, and we weren't able to put our fingers on the problems at that time. Games like St Kilda or Melbourne were very disappointing, and I think that unfortunately we had to been able to win those important games during the middle of the season, that it might have made a difference at the end.
Who discovered the problem? I mean, was it a mixture of coach and senior players? What had happened?
Well, I guess when we got to a point where we realised it was going to be tough for us to make the 6, a lot of the players did have a talk, and we come to a time where we sat down with the coach, some of the senior players, and mainly the older guys, and we just had it out then and there. And Malcolm was, very good about it. He listened, and he admitted some of what he felt was his own mistakes, and we changed our tactics.
What did you, the senior players, think was wrong?
Well, I think the main thing that came out of it was most of the senior players felt that we weren't playing our style of game, that we were being too defensive. And as I said before, that was, I think it was a bit hard for some players to adapt to.
Was it a feeling that built up within the senior players over a number of weeks? I mean, we were all sitting here one night and said, hang on, boys, the rot's got to stop, we've got to do something. How did it sort of come about?
Oh, well, I guess it just came about because we weren't winning games, really. But, and I guess really there was just a sense of urgency around the club that we really had to stop, reevaluate things and turn things around. So I guess that's the main thing that brought the meeting about, is just the fact we weren't winning games. And we knew we were a better side than that. So You know, and we, you know, when you talk about dropping games like St Kilda and Melbourne, we just felt we were a better side than that. So something needed to be done.
The players cleared the air. The fresh, positive attitude was immediately evident. Just 1 week later, in front of 38,000 at Waverley Park, Geelong accounted for Collingwood, placed 5th on the ladder. Ablett's 5 goals took him to 98 for the season, ironically the same number as Tony Modrow. The race for the century was going right down to the wire.
Big player he is.
Hit by Barnes. Ablett on the lead. Top mark in front of Pert. Pert has given him the runaround in the first 20 minutes, but Ablett's come back with a couple of marks and now kicking for his second goal. Ablett, 40 metres out. Kicks it hard, through the wind. Second goal. Still Ablett a chance. Steele goes long and high. One out Ablett with Pert. Free kick Ablett.
Who's holding who in those situations?
Well,
watch this. Look, Ablett's holding as much as what Pert is. Then it's Pert.
Nearly marked it anyway.
Ablett lining up for his 3rd goal. He needs 7 today to bring up 100. He's never kicked a century. That's 3.
Ball bounces kindly for him. Short kick along the wing. Gathers by Brown. Skillfully does it and gets away from Pert, who's come all the way down the ground. Brown's kick. Well done, because that is Gary Pert's immediate opponent.
No, McEwen, we've got to apologise to Ablett because McEwen's got the job on Ablett now and Pert's still playing. Well, playing across half-back is Pert, being picked up by Colbert. But hasn't Brown got some talent?
Distance, no problem. And the accuracy isn't on. 4 goals to Gary Ablett. Poor kick by Tudor, but fortuitously, McCartney dropped it, picked up by Hanley, in towards full forward. Geelong have got the crumb gathered. Ablett must get a free kick.
Sometimes we football fans forget that the superstars were kids once, that they were wide-eyed fans. Gary Ablett, Norm Smith medalist, Victorian and All-Australian star, is no exception. This day at Waverley Park, his childhood hero was sitting in the coach's box, waiting for Ablett to destroy his team.
So I had, my hero was Lee Matthews when I was a kid. I used to go along, Jeff played with Hawthorn, and I used to go along with Mum and Dad as a kid and watch the Hawthorn games, and the little nuggety number 3 stood out to me. And you know, I was just amazed at how hard he could hit packs and come out the other side with the ball and you know, spin out of packs and kick incredible goals. That he stood out to me.
So did he inspire you? Was he the sort of player you thought, did you think, if I'm going to be a decent player, that's who I'd like to be like? Yeah,
I suppose I did model myself in some ways from him. I can still remember as a kid in our football games in the street that I always wanted to be Lee Matthews. So yeah, I guess he did have an influence on me as a young boy. Yeah, no, he was a great player.
You played against him?
Yes, I played with him too at Hawthorn. I remember my first game for Hawthorn. That's probably what amazes me so much looking back. That as a boy, I looked up so much to this man, and all of a sudden I was running out with him, and I was shaking my head, saying, "Is this really going on? Is this for real?" But it wasn't.
Were you in a daze? Do you feel like you're in a daze?
Oh, not really a daze, but I guess it took some time for me to really believe that that I was good enough to play league football alongside that man, and so it just took time.
Centre half forward.
Gee, there's a free kick to Ablett right in front.
In round 18 at the MCG of all places, Gary Ablett did what Lee Matthews never did.
Ablett, 99
11
for
minutes
the season.
into the game against North Melbourne, he
mark.
reached
Sunny's
his
eyes
first
there.
century.
Hughes to centre half forward. Stoneham a focal point still, and Stoneham takes the mark. I think he's too far out to score. Ablett's on the edge of the goal square. He needs one more for the century. Stoneham honours the lead to the pocket.
Oh,
Ablett at the back.
Ablett.
He's got it.
No.
It's a mark.
From where I was sitting, Ablett had hold of Martin.
It would be a game umpire to free kick him, because everybody is focused on Gary Ablett trying to kick 100 for the first time in his career. His previous best was 87 goals in a season. in his stellar year, 1989. This for the second fastest century in VFL AFL history. And there it is. Only Bob Pratt got there quicker, and that was one game quicker. Gary Ablett gets his century in his 14th game for the season. And despite the protestations of officials, he has been besieged by people here at his favourite stage, the MCG.
It had taken 14 games, and Ablett had become the first Geelong player since Larry Donoghue in 1976 to top the ton. It was, according to the statsmen, the second fastest ever, with only Bob Pratt's milestone in 1934 coming one match quicker.
So remarkable scenes surrounding a remarkable individual. Gary Ablett, just a terrific year. 100 goals to that man, and the invasion now is starting to recede.
I guess once I started to get in the 60s and the 70s, I started to think, you know, that there was a real possibility that I could kick 100. And I've never kicked one before, so I really was keen to get 100. And I was very thrilled when I got it. It was great.
That's terrific football. They've worked the old 1-2 and back to 1. Riccardi to the pocket. Ablett.
Oh. Well.
And that's a 50-metre penalty against Martin, so this is a gimme goal for Ablett. Ablett right in front for goal number 4.
And Poole, metres in the clear, can go again to Hocking and does. Gary Hocking, left half forward, sets it up for Ablett. They wrestle, face to face. Oh, what a mark! They were eyeball to eyeball, and somehow Gary Ablett has fashioned a TV mark out of all of that. That was prime time. Just outside half forward, passes to Tudor, the new man on the ground. He goes towards Ablett, who comes on the lead and takes the mark. About 35 metres out at the most. What a banner. Ablett has 5.
Celebrating game 150 to an absolute treat. Into Bairstow. Bairstow long. Ablett with the sit. Works to the front. Marks.
Oh, that was a great effort. Getting away from Martin. He was tied up.
Poole goes up, takes a very good running mark. Hit the ground running. Boots inside the 50. Ablett goes back in the pocket. Made to earn it, but take it he did. So Ablett, on the sharpest of angles, can open it up. Elects not to. A study in concentration. Well, explain that.
Oh, it flips off Riccardi to Poole. A centering kick. Sun in players' eyes. Ablett, though. Well, it seems to have bothered some, like McAdam, but not Ablett. 6 goals, 5 he's kicked. So don't mark this one down for a goal just yet. Make that 7 goals. Ablett back in the goal square. Scott hoists it high. You like his chances?
His 8th goal helped set another milestone. His 200th goal at the home of football, the MCG.
Real sitters. This for number 8. Oh, no. Oh, just got in.
Is the ground something special for you?
Well, I don't know. It's probably surprised me how well I've played there over the years. But obviously, I guess the thing that stands out about the MCG to me is just the atmosphere. I think it's just a great atmosphere, and the new stands probably made it even better, so I enjoy playing there.
Colbert's kick down towards full forward. Ablett off the ground. The master starts work early.
The next week, round 19, it will be Hawthorn, the club that displaced North on top of the ladder. Again, Geelong were just unbelievable.
Coming inside to Hinkley. Kenny Hinkley from 45 metres. A high kick in towards goal, and another one.
In that passage of play and defence just moments ago, counts the centering kick. Ablett. Oh, great footy. And Paul Couch has virtually gone from pocket to pocket on the outer side, involved all the way down the ground. free kick to Scott bought him some time, and this was the end result. So Gary Ablett, who didn't play in round 4 when the Cats beat Hawthorn, Billy Brownless stepped up that day with 7 goals. Ablett, 35 metres out, bends one, bends it well.
Some of the September action. There's a magnificent steal from Hocking again. He's playing a superb game. Up towards full forward steal. Ablett on the left, but that's an easy one. That's very easy for Gary.
It's taking too long to get rid of that ball, Colbert.
Ablett lurking up in the forward line. Used the body magnificently. Langford asked the question, but there is really no question to be answered. There he goes for number 4 for the day. Bending it back. 698 for his career.
Here's Hocking. This is Riccardi. Forward of half back. Long kick down towards full forward. Ablett. Whoa, down he goes.
A little nudge again by Gary Ablett, using the body well. 50-metre penalty not being applied there.
Here's Ablett. He's kicking at his 5th. Sharp angle. Runs around, pulls it back. Guess what?
The advantage is paid. In he goes towards Ablett. Tremendous mark in front of the eyes.
Great pass also from Tim Darcy. Down from the back line on the left boot. He put it out in front of Ablett. Honoured the lead beautifully there, Tim Darcy. A little bit of happening behind play there with, I think it's down.
This for number 700. He's kicked 5 for the day. It's close. He's got it. 700 goals to Gary Ablett. In towards Ablett.
Clever play, Ablett. Body on body. He's just been too good for Chris Langford. Just that little nudge away before the ball arrived. Well, this will be a certain goal to the Cats. The kick from Robert Scott just outside 50. There's a little push. A little bit too easy there.
Centering towards half-forward. Ablett.
8 more goals and Geelong's 82-point victory was their best since 1949. The Cats that had been looking at a middle-order position at the end of 1993 were suddenly the form side of the competition.
Tries for a thread-like hand pass, but gets
With
caught.
a bye
So
and a week off, Geelong faced Essendon and the West Coast Eagles in the last 2 matches. They had to win both and hope for some of the other fancied sides to falter if they were to play in the finals again. They say there were 31,000 at Cardinia Park for the showdown against Essendon. To the casual onlooker, it was a sea of sardines.
Centering for Buddha Hocking. 52 metres out. Wants to go on with the pass to Ablett.
Just that little break, that's all he needs, Gary Ablett, but Fletcher responded accordingly. He nearly got there to affect that spoil.
Ablett for his first for the day, straight through the middle. The Cats hit back with 2 quick goals.
For the 3rd match in a row, Geelong was pitted against the ladder leaders. And for Essendon, it was a game that came close to ruining their premiership hopes.
But I think Fletcher could get back there. No.
Injuries to the swag of key players left them undermanned, an easy prey for the relentless Cats.
Fletcher does well to get front spot, but he pumps it straight to Billy, and Billy pumps it straight for goal. Couch does the roving. Off to Lee Judah. Hurried snap. Into the pocket. Guess who? Gary Ablett will have a shot 20 metres out.
It's a great tackle there by Mark McCurry on Lee Tudor, but I don't like this move. Derek Kickett playing on Gary Ablett after Dustin Fletcher had done a terrific job. We've got to leave Kickett on that forward line.
Important kick for the Cats. This to make the margin 4 points. The master rarely lets them down.
Appeared to be an injured shoulder. Barry Stoneham long into the forward line looking for Ablett. Almost Ablett. He'll get the free kick. And Derek Kickett, just be a little bit careful there. Just be a little bit careful because the free kick has been awarded. Gary Ablett with the ball and missed to put the Cats in front from about 40 metres. Gary Ablett for goal number 3. The crowd get excited. It's a goal.
In one of his quieter days for the season, Ablett kicked only 3 goals, but it didn't seem to matter. The Cats were still alive after a 32-point win.
Ablett is there also. Look at them like birds chasing crumbs. Oh, no! He's kicked that one. He has kicked a miraculous goal.
After that victory, was there a feeling in the club that, all right, boys, we're back on track, just maybe, if we can get in there, we'll give it a shake?
Yeah, I guess our chances to make the 6 became a reality after the Essendon game. We knew that, you know, we were within striking distance. But unfortunately, we got into the position where we had to rely on, you know, other sides losing and winning. So that's always hard.
Yeah.
The scene was set for a remarkable climax to the season. Geelong faced the horror trip to Perth and a Friday night match against the West Coast Eagles. A win wouldn't even guarantee them a finals place.
Now Robert Scott, hurried left foot snap in towards Ablett again.
This was arguably the best game of the season, a ripper of a battle between the grand finalists of '92.
It's good, and it's a goal to Tudor. So what a start by the Cats. Bear in mind, Geelong kicking with a slight breeze. Bear statement number 3.
Oh! Sweeps onto the left foot. Got past Heady. And thumps Geelong into attack. Centre half forward. Oh! Terrific mark by Ablett.
That's what Gary Ablett has to do, Robbo, isn't it?
Well,
on the lead, he's unstoppable, Gary Ablett.
And he's got it at left half forward. He kicks it in towards full forward. Ablett! Great mark by Gary Ablett on his chest.
Yeah, that's better from Gary Ablett. He's now leading with some sort of conviction.
Yet to kick a goal. From 30 metres. There's silence, so it must be a goal. It is.
That's a poor kick by Dean Kemp. Couch may make him pay. Djakovic, Ablett will make him pay. And he does. Ablett will
While
be his
Ablett
man.
kicked 5, he also hit the post once.
Ablett. Oh, he's crunched into that goal post and he's hurt. He's hurt.
And he's back.
He's kicked the goal, Sandy, but he is in big trouble, Gary Ablett.
I just kicked the ball. I was sort of pushed into the post. Knocked the wind right out of me, actually.
Did you think you were seriously hurt when you first
Well, I
kicked?
felt there was a chance that I could have, you know, done some sort of damage because I heard a bit of a crack on the back. I guess basically once I started getting my wind back, I started to feel okay again. So fortunately, there was no serious damage. Actually, when I got up, I wasn't even quite sure whether I'd kicked the goal or a point. By the time I got up, the ball was up the other end, so I still didn't know what had happened. So.
Out comes Ablett and Brennan. Brennan gets the hand pass away. Taken by Riccardi. Now Ablett. What can the mercurial Gary Ablett do? He's going to manufacture a goal. This boy will kick it. Young Lynch, he's got it. Geelong goal.
Trailing at three-quarter time by 9 points, the Cats surged home. It was a last-ditch effort, and with 6 goals to 2, they'd beaten the Eagles in Perth.
Towards Ablett, who marks.
Bertie had his mouth with Barnes at the ball. I tell you what, he can give it away, John Barnes.
He's kicked 3 goals, 4.
Should make the distance, though, Sandy, from here.
Geelong leads by 5 points at the moment. He's kicked from 51 metres. It's a drop punt. It's a delightful-looking kick, and he's kicked it. Darcy, deep in towards Ablett.
Body stuff. In the end, Ablett just worried about the ball, hit him right on the chest.
He'd be anxious to see the Cats win, I think.
Well, so Kenny Hinkley there, Trevor Poole. 40 metres. Drop punt by Gary Ablett. This is very, very close. He's got it.
He's a long way from goal, probably 2 kicks, but certainly will put it within scoring distance for the Cats. In towards centre half forward. Hi,
Celebrating in Continia Park tonight, Sandy.
They certainly will.
Geelong force it forward. No mark taken. Stoneham a chance again. Beautiful gather. And from 50 metres, Barry Stoneham bangs through his fourth goal.
To the left half-forward flank towards Robert Scott, Stoneham and Djakovic and Hart. But there's the siren. Malcolm Blight sees his finalist chance to stay alive. They're delirious at Cadinia Park back in Victoria, and Blighty very quick to go over and congratulate his players. It's unusual that he shows emotion like that, but it's
he doesn't know who to go to
shows
first.
just how delighted he is. He goes over to Gary Ablett.
It was just great. It was a great thrill for all the guys and Malcolm as well. And you know, I guess it was just great to finish the season on a positive note. You know, that we knew even if we don't get in the six now, at least we've started something that we can build on next year. So.
Well, then you had to wait, didn't you? I mean, what was it like? What did you do? Did you listen to the radio? Did you listen to television? What did you do?
I listened to the wireless and listened to the game. And when Collingwood got 33 points up, I thought, well, we're in with a show. But they didn't last long, so that was the way it went.
In those last 5 rounds since the fateful meeting, Geelong had beaten 5 clubs above it on the ladder and were clearly the form team. But that's not the way things work.
Look back now, probably some goes. No point.
For Gary Ablett, there were honours ahead. By topping the goal kicking at the end of the home and away series with 124 goals, he was named the Coleman medalist, the first man to win the Norm Smith medal, Coleman medal double in their career.
I really considered it a great thrill and a great honour to win the John Coleman medal. I just felt, you know, that, you know, I suppose it's good for anyone in any league to win the goal kicking, but I considered it a real honour just to, you know, to kick the most goals in an AFL season was a tremendous thrill for me. Obviously, you know, the way we finished was disappointing. You know, we set out this year after playing in the grand final last year to try and, you know, improve and win a grand final. But unfortunately, we sort of didn't get away to a real good start. We dropped games that we shouldn't have.
Was that because of change in tactics by the coach? Did you decide to play a different style of game?
Yeah, well, that did have a little bit to do with it. Early in the year, Malcolm emphasised more on our defensive side of the game. So I think, you know, that may have at first, you know, cramped a few players' playing styles and caused some problems.
I guess also it was probably foreign to some players, wasn't it? You know, you're asking them to play a different game?
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of the players in our side, you know, are very attacking players, and you know, I guess it just took some time for us to wake up.
What about injuries?
Yeah, injuries played a big part in you know, in some of our problems this year. Some of the, you know, our better players suffered injuries early in the year, and as well as suspensions too didn't help. So they played a big part.
For Gary Ablett, the season was over. There would be no September, but there would be November. While most of his teammates were resting those weary bones, Gary Ablett was being feted on the tiny Pacific island of Nauru.
So there's the banner for the Tigers Football Club.
The superstar of the 93 season was just as comfortable swapping places with the man in white, to the joy of the locals.
And here comes the Panther team running onto the oval. led by their captain for this match, Gomez, number 2. And there we have the bounce of the ball for the start of the match. Gruber kicks. Nobody to mark. Brassel can't get his kick in. Now with Saya, it's on the ground. Pushing in the back, so it's a free kick to Saya from Pansa, number 20. Gary Ablett wants him to play the mark. Shane kicks it. Short kick to number 3, Trent. A very good mark under pressure. And it was a late tackle as well, so that'll be marched 50 metres up the field. That'll take him within 35, 40 metres from goal. He should be able to put this in for a goal. Full forward can't hold on to it. Rick picks it up. There's a Rick there. Rick handballs to Gwen. Gwen kicks it. And it's a goal. Left-footed kick from Gwen. Malia kicks the ball. It's rolling towards the behind. Seems like there was a bit of a rough play there. I think it'll be a free kick to the Panzer team. So one of the players have been cautioned for undue dirty play. So they'll be marched 50 metres for a free kick to Panzer. Up, Silo kicks. Oh. Jacko after it. Still going. Oh, towards one of his players. Rick's after the ball. He gets around one. He gets around another. He kicks towards goal. It looks good. It's a goal. Now, Dantoa gets the ball. He puts in a difficult left-footed kick and puts it right through the post for a goal. To even up this match. And that's the siren. It's the full-time siren, and that's the grand final for 1993. And victors for today, the Ida Warriors Football Club. This will be their 7th consecutive premiership win since 1987.
I guess you always, know that young kids are always looking up to you, and as you say, they're always emulating you and whatnot. But I guess my aim, just to go out there and just to enjoy the game and do my best. And I feel that's what youngsters should do too. They just should go out and be themselves and enjoy their game and get some fun out of it.
Is that the sort of philosophy you part your own kids, just to enjoy the sport?
Yeah, I believe, I encourage my own children that, there really is too much emphasis on winning these days, and I really think that children feel the pressure of that. And I really think that, parents should encourage their children just to enjoy their sport and have fun, and when they do that, they'll naturally do well anyway. But unfortunately, I think there really is too much emphasis on winning, and I think, that can turn a lot of kids away from sport.